Unity of the Huachucas presents Reverend Charli Tupper.
Love 2.0.
Good morning. I want to begin this morning by lightening the mood a little bit. And so I came up with some love songs where the lyrics have been a little misunderstood sometimes. So from Macy Gray's I'll Try, people hear, I blow bubbles when you are not here. The actual lyrics are, my world crumbles when you are not near. Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer, people hear, it doesn't make a difference if we're naked or not. Actual lyrics, it doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. In Syncs, it's gonna be me. People hear, it's gonna be May instead of it's gonna be me. ABBA's Dancing Queen, they hear, see that girl, watch her scream, kicking the dancing queen. Actual lyrics, see that girl, watch that scene, digging the dancing queen. So the reason I started out with a couple of lighter lyrics is because today we're going to talk about Love 2.0. And Love 2.0 is really about the transformative power of compassion. And so we're not talking about the love that we feel on Valentine's Day or that we feel with the person that's really close to us. It's a love that is at the essence of our being. Love is the transformative power of the universe. Love is that power that is always moving us towards wholeness. Is a profound form of love that changes our perspective on the world and encompasses compassion for strangers, as well as for those who reciprocate our affection. The essence of this love is the energy that works within us, revealing our biases, judgments, and prejudices, even those we believe are justified or biblically endorsed. It challenges us to see beyond our limited viewpoints and embraces a more inclusive and empathetic outlook. This love is not confined to the connection we make, but is a love that reaches beyond its boundaries to our personal experience. We love those who are different than we are and those we have never met. Now, not all of us experience love in the same way. Depending on our cultural background, our personal emotional experiences, we view and experience love in a wide range of expressions. Gary Chapman wrote a book a couple of decades ago called The Five Love Languages. And it is just as popular today as it was a couple of decades ago, because it talks about how we experience love in different ways. So he has 5 ways, and these 5 ways are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. These languages help individuals understand their own needs and the needs of others. fostering deeper connections and enhancing relationships. So let's take a moment and look at this. Words of affirmation. Now, I'm not talking about an affirmation like we would talk about an affirmation for a prayer, but I'm talking about, if we're talking about words of affirmation, it's about, and maybe it is a prayer. It's about seeing the divine in someone. It's about recognizing the good within them and speaking it to them. Now, that good doesn't have to be just, wow, you're a really kind person, or that kind of thing. It can be, wow, I really enjoyed that meal that you made. Wow, you look really nice today. How about, I really appreciate the way that you did this, or I really appreciate the help that you gave me when. They're words that affirm the truth of who we are and the qualities that we are expressing in the world. Acts of service. Sharing love as an act of service. Let me do the dishes for you. Let me go run that errand for you. It's doing something tangible, an act of service for someone else, without it being about you. Receiving gifts. Some people experience love when they receive a gift. And you know who these people are because they can tell you every gift you have ever given them. I have grandchildren who are that way. They can pull something out of their drawer, out of their closet, and they'll say, you bought this for me for my birthday. You bought this for me for Christmas. I mean, 1 year for Easter, my daughter was going to the store with one of her daughters, and they were talking about chocolate Easter bunnies. And she looked at her mom and she goes, you don't buy the chocolate Easter bunnies. Grandma buys the chocolate Easter bunnies. She's one who remembers gifts. Quality time. That's the love that when you sit down next to someone and you just are present. No agenda. Maybe you watch a movie together. Maybe you play a game together. But they are your focus at that time. No one else. You put the phone aside. You put the pad aside. You just spend time with that person. And for some, it's physical touch. It's walking by and touching them. Maybe putting your hand on their back. Giving them a hug. These are the people that love to be hugged. They want to be touched. And that's how they experience love, is they feel it on their skin. They feel it on their body. And that's not a sexual thing. I'm not talking about a sexual thing. I am just talking about touching someone, touching their arm when you're speaking to them, or walk past them and lay your hand on their back. These languages really help people understand their own needs and the needs of others, fostering deeper connections and enhancing relationships. We learn to understand. Love 2.0. is taking love to the next level. It involves showing compassion for our enemies and addressing the wounds that separate us from others. It calls us to practice forgiveness, empathy, and understanding, even when it's difficult. It asks us to heal divisions and build bridges, promoting unity and peace. As part of my spiritual direction classes, we are talking about showing up for those who are different than us. One book that we have been exploring is called Pastrix by Nadia Bolz-Weber. Now, Nadia is a Lutheran minister, not like any Lutheran minister you probably have ever met before. Nadia was raised in the Church of Christ. So she was raised in a very strict Christian tradition. And in that tradition, it was so strict that when she went to college, she walked away from her religion, but not away from God. She said she never lost her belief in God. She'd had too many experiences that she couldn't put in a different box. So she leaves college. She drops out of college. She's an alcoholic, and she's a comedian, a stand-up comic. And she has tattoos all over her body. She refers to herself as a saint and a sinner. In this book, she tells the story of how she started her ministry. And her intention was to serve those who, shall we say, might not otherwise be invited into a church. People like her. So she's talking about the people who are homeless. She's talking about the LGBTQ community. She's talking about drug addicts and alcoholics that are trying to get their lives together. And they don't experience spirituality in the same way. And so she says, for Easter, we do baptisms, and then we have a chocolate fountain in the baptismal font and dance. So they do traditional service and some really non-traditional things. Well, at one point she was invited to go to Red Rock and speak, and she lives right there in Denver, so it was really easy to go there and speak and then come back. And the next Sunday, her congregation doubled. Now, they had been praying for growth. It doubled, but you know who came? The bankers, the executives in their suits, the upper class couples came. And she's like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. That's not the intention of this ministry. She wanted to, in that moment, she wanted to limit it. But God had another plan. And they had a town hall meeting. And one of the transgender teenagers spoke up and said, I'm grateful that they're here because they can love me the way my parents can't at this time. That really touched my heart. They can love me the way my parents can't at this time. That's love 2.0. Love 2.0 is about seeing beyond, and it's not labeling people, and it's not compartmentalizing everyone. Oh, you're this race. Oh, you're that culture. Oh, you belong to that church. Oh, you make that much money. Oh, you drive that car. And yet we do this all the time within our minds. We do this comparing and this judging. We hold these biases around people. We make judgments about those people based on their external circumstances. That's one of the reasons why she says, I'm a saint and a sinner. She doesn't say, I've made it. She says, I'm still learning. I'm still learning to love. I'm still learning to love. What could happen if we opened our heart to everyone? What might we create? Incorporating Love 2.0 into our daily lives requires intentional efforts and a commitment to our own spiritual journey. This love is not an intellectual exercise. This love is the very essence of the divine expressing in, through, and as each and every one of us. So here are some practical steps. Self-reflection. Regularly examine your biases and your judgments. Allow Spirit to bring to mind the awarenesses, those areas in our lives where we are holding to the story about a group of people. And that would be included, but not limited to, the mentally ill, addicts, people who color their hair pink or purple or blue, have piercings, are of a different financial demographic, or belong to a different color or race. What might it look like if we loved those who thought differently politically than we do? Practice empathy. Make an effort to understand the perspectives and experiences of others, especially those who are different from you. Use the spiritual gift of wonder. I wonder. I wonder. Wonder, wonder, wonder. Who wrote the book of love? How can I understand how someone else sees the world and experiences themselves in the world? I wonder. Acts of kindness. Perform random acts of kindness for strangers and loved ones alike. Small gestures can have a significant impact. Random Act of Kindness Week is February 14th through the 17th this year. And the actual Random Acts of Kindness Day is February 17th. Go to the website. Just Google Random Acts of Kindness. They have a list that is huge, that gives examples, simple examples that are free. Doesn't cost you anything, of ways that you can express kindness to others. Things like Write a thank you note to a police officer or to the police department. Learn the name of the people that serve you, say at the grocery store or at the bank, and use their name. And greet them with a friendly greeting. Buy extra dog or cat food and take it to the animal shelter. There are so many ways to express kindness to each other, which builds our consciousness of being love in the world. Because isn't that what it's about? It's about being love in the world. Forgiveness. Oh, this is a big one. Let go of grudges and practice forgiveness. Holding on to resentment can only harm you and hinders your ability to love fully. Holding a grudge is like putting on armor that you think that you're keeping the pain out, but actually what you're doing is you're putting armor on and keeping the pain in. We must release the armor that we may have placed around our hearts and our minds and allow spirit to heal what is hurting us. There's a tribe in Africa, and I love this story. There's a tribe in Africa, and in this tribe, if you offend someone, then the whole tribe comes together as a circle, and you're put in the middle of the circle. The offender is in the middle of the circle, and they go around one by one in the tribe, and they tell that person something wonderful about them. They tell the person some time when that person has really stepped up, that they were kind, or that they showed goodness. They showed their true self. And after everyone in the tribe goes around and says something to this person, then they get up and they hug the person and they welcome them back into the tribe. Wow. Now, isn't that different than getting together and telling the person how they've done it wrong, why they can't do it right, where it didn't work out for us? And if they would just get their act together, we'd be happy. No. They see it as, we need to heal this person. This person acted this way because they are hurting. And so we need to love them back into the tribe. I wonder if there's someone that we need to love back into our tribe, our personal tribe. Open communication. Open communication fosters honesty and integrity in relationships. Express your feelings and listen actively to others. Expressing your feelings isn't dumping on someone. Expressing your feelings is owning how you feel. Wow, I'm feeling really sad right now. I'm just feeling really sad right now. Wow, I am feeling so happy right now. I am feeling really good. Oh, that news that you shared with me, I actually feel a little scared. When we own that the feeling is ours, then the other person can openly hear it and be present with us in it. That doesn't mean that they waddle in depression with us. This isn't about self-pity. This is just about being honest with where we're at in the moment. And it's not always negative. Sometimes I think that we think that if we have open communication with someone, then the open communication is, we're going to talk about negative stuff, but not necessarily. I'm having open communication. I'm letting you into my life. Love 2.0. Spiritual practices. Now you might think, wow, she left that for last. That should be first. Well, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. We start with spiritual practices, and actually all of these are spiritual practices. But engaging in spiritual practices, such as praying for others, is a very powerful form of love, or allowing other people to pray for you. Allowing others to pray for you. It's not a weakness. We all have times when we need prayer. Everyone does. When we need to know that there is a community of people who are holding us in the truth of who we are, that we are expressions of the divine, that we are love, that we are power, that we have the strength, the compassion, the vision to know what is ours to do and what is not. The truth that the universe is always moving towards wholeness. And so when we're feeling separated from that wholeness, it's okay to ask people to remember that truth for us. We call it holding the high watch in unity. Holding the high watch. I remember who you are, even in those moments when you cannot. Embracing Love 2.0 can have profound effects on both personal and social events, experiences, levels of consciousness. Individuals who experience and practice this form of love have greater emotional well-being, stronger relationships, and more positive outlook on life. On a larger scale, Love 2.0 can lead to greater social cohesion, reduce conflict, and a more compassionate and just world. Love 2.0 is a new paradigm. It represents a shift in our consciousness and how we understand and practice love. It moves beyond self-interest and conditional affection and encourages us to love unconditionally and inclusively. This paradigm has the potential to transform our interactions, relationships, and communities, creating a more harmonious and empathetic world. Let's take this into prayer. And so I just invite you to breathe into this moment, knowing that in this moment, God is present. The divine is present in you. God is present around you. God is present beyond you, greater than you. When we join together collectively in this prayer of affirming that love, the power of love, flows in, through, and as our lives, transforming, making new, healing biases and judgments that we hold against ourselves and others, making new. Giving us new eyes so that we see with clarity and understanding, with compassion. We see the divine essence in everyone we meet. We hear the music of the universe singing the song of love that awakens our hearts, awakens our minds. To each other, to the world, and all that is in it. And so in this moment, we give thanks. We give such deep, abiding appreciation and gratitude for all of life, all that we have, all that we are, all that we give, and all that we receive. We are grateful. So we take a moment in the silence just to be in this place of open-hearted gratitude. And so it is. Amen. Blessings, dear ones. Have a great day.